Hey, 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 it's Tina Lorraine, your certified abundant mindset coach, and happy Friday to you. Happy Friday to everybody. We made it through the weekend, Friday. And tonight we're going to be talking about moving from pain to purpose in peace. Moving from pain to purpose in peace. And we have a guest tonight, Coach Joanna Elizabeth, the Peace and Purpose Coach. She is coming on to talk to us. As a matter of fact, she's in here now. We're going to be talking about moving on from pain to purpose, but using peace to get there. We're not going to be using, hi, Joanna.
Hey, Tina, how are you?
How are you?
Doing
That
well.
went, that went nice and
It did.
seamless, which is a good thing.
Uh-huh.
Um, okay, so I was saying how we're going to be talking about from pain to purpose and peace,
Right.
and you're the peace and coach. So I was just wondering, as people are hopefully joining, if you can talk a little bit about yourself and what you'll be talking about tonight.
Sure. Yeah. So first of all, thanks so much for having me on. As Tina said, I'm a peace and purpose coach. That is my focus. I basically help women who are going through different struggles in life, helping them to cultivate peace so that they can move from a place of pain into their purpose and creating a life that they desire. So I came to be a coach because of all the different struggles that I was going through personally and needed to find ways to heal. And I found that peace was a real foundation when it came to healing. And so I wanted to be able to teach other women how to move from that place of pain into purpose using peace as a bridge.
Okay, so we're going to jump right in, and as people come on, we'll just tell them if they have questions, they can put them in the
Okay,
chat.
sure.
So a lot of times I know as coaches that we focus on pain a lot,
Uh-huh.
and it's because so many people are hurting.
Right.
But what we want to understand tonight is, okay, so why is the pain there? Um, how do we get from the pain to the purpose? And why is the peace so important when moving from one area to the other? Break it down from what okay, so the pain is here. So now what do we do when we see there's some issue going on, or we're hurting, or we need some healing or whatnot? I know we acknowledge it, but then what's the next step?
Yeah. So I think when it comes to coming to a place of peace, you have to make the decision making to make peace a priority, to cultivating peace in your life a priority. So whatever it is that you are struggling with, I know, we have the different emotions coming up, and emotions can get very intense when we're in a place of pain. So it's important to be very intentional to cultivate peace,
Mm-hmm.
to cultivate a place of peace and healing. And that starts with making your happiness a priority.
Yeah. So if you're okay, so let's say somebody broke up with somebody,
Mhm.
and the woman is usually just devastated. Say she really loved this person and whatnot. How can you even expect from yourself to get to the point where, hey, I need to heal, and hey, I have purpose outside of a relationship, outside of kids, outside of a husband, outside of the church. I actually have
Right.
purpose. So, how would a person navigate that, from, I know you have to acknowledge and you do have to sit in the pain for a minute,
Right.
but not staying there and not letting it overtake them to the point where it's the next year and they still strung out about this person.
Uh,
So how would we get from point A to point B?
yeah. So there definitely is a time where you're going to have to sit in your pain, for a while and be able to acknowledge all those emotions and be able to really get a clear picture of what it is that is causing you the pain and the issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to moving to a place of peace, basically it's really about, it becomes a practice,
Mm-hmm.
really. It becomes a discipline and a practice. There are going to be times, of course, you're going through struggles, you're going to be feeling the different emotions,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to be able to come to a place where you're you're very still with yourself, and you're very intentional about creating that place of healing. And there are different things that you can do in order to get yourself to a place of peace. And I found that meditation and prayer is one tool.
Mm-hmm.
Journaling is another tool.
Yeah, and I find that even with, because I know you talk about mindset a lot too, you coach in mindset as well as I, that even um, renewing your mindset with affirmations. I know some people are not like I know some people are pro affirmations, some people are not. But I would say that anytime you have to renew your mind in any area, anytime you have to evolve, it always starts with your thoughts.
Right.
And for me, you can't look at affirmations as a magic potion thinking that it's like fairy dust and everything's going to change just because you're saying this.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying it to reprogram your brain. You have to understand why affirmations are being utilized in the first place. It's
Right.
to reprogram your mind. Um, it is not like a magic potion for you to become, Harry Potter the next day or whatever.
Uh-huh.
It's to get your mind to get reconditioned to let's say if it was a breakup and you're feeling rotten about yourself and you're blaming yourself and you're not seeing your value. Well, now you have to speak against that. You have to start to tell yourself every day. You can do the mirroring technique where you're talking to yourself in the mirror or just writing down your affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, if you're saying your affirmations daily or you're saying them, you're reprogramming your subconscious and then your inner dialogue becomes that of the affirmation. It becomes positive before you know it, and then it becomes natural, and then you feel it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you believe it. So i I believe that affirmations do work, but you have to understand how to use them, and not think of them as a way of some overnight, that it's, it didn't work because I said it for a week. It's not a legalistic ritual. It's something that you actually have to implement, so for your subconscious, and that so I think affirmations are a good way to also move on from pain. And then journaling, like you said, and prayer and meditation. Sometimes we just need to be quiet, because a lot of times, especially in breakups, we get so focused on the person and not focused on us, and or focused on the pain which is caused by the person and not focused on us. Well, how come I was in this relationship? What is it about me that was attracted to this type of person? Why didn't I see this? These are all the things that come in quiet, and being in quiet is a scary place to be sometimes. It's a hard place to be sometimes. Hello, Halima.
Hi, Halima.
Halima Ahmed. So when we're looking for purpose, like say after a breakup, what do you
Mhm.
think? Should we be looking for, I think sometimes even purpose can be scary for people because they're thinking that it's one thing or one big gigantic, the island over there with the
Right.
treasure, with the X marks the spot, and once I get there, I'll be free.
Uh-huh.
But so what would you say in for the example of a breakup, what would the purpose you would be looking for when you're, doing your meditation and prayer and you're healing and whatnot? What purpose should the person be looking for?
Yeah, I think the purpose should be focusing on your mental health, focusing on those things that you can do for yourself to move you out of that place of pain and out of that place of kind of spiraling in your pain. And when it comes to finding your purpose, like you said, a lot of times we think that it's like one grand thing that we're supposed to be doing in life. But what I've come to learn, or kind of my definition of purpose, is that your purpose is whatever you are meant to be doing in a particular season of your life. And it can be one thing or it can be many things, you know? So it kind of takes the pressure off of saying that it just needs to be this one thing, you know, which may seem kind of elusive. But if you
Right.
can come to that place of peace where you're able to get clarity so that you can really start to hone in on what your purpose is in this season. And your purpose could be, you know, whatever influence you're meant to have in this season, whoever you're meant to serve in this season. You can think of it that way. And it kind of takes that
Or if it's you're getting over something, I guess your purpose is to be peaceful first. Looking for
right.
that peace, sitting in that peace, operating in that peace. Because
Exactly.
in order for even I kind of look at my purpose too daily as I wake up. What is my purpose today? And a lot of times when you're moving from a place of healing, that's kind of the way you have to look at it. What is my purpose today? Staying in the now. So then, and then if that's to be peaceful, this is the way you were saying, like journal, go for nature walks, go swimming, do something that takes your mind off of the hurt and the pain.
Right.
Yes, it's okay to sit and acknowledge the pain, but we don't have to carry it around like a bag, like all day long,
Exactly.
because we do want to be purposeful and moving ahead. We don't want to spend too much time in the mourning phase of it. We do want to eventually evolve, and we do want to eventually use that pain to help other people. But in order for us to help other people, we first have to move through the pain and heal from the pain, and then find the purpose in the pain. Because I think one of the questions I had asked was, okay, why is the pain here? Or the questions we should ask ourselves. And how long do I want to suffer with this pain? Or what lesson am I supposed to be learning from this pain? Whether it be the pain of a broken relationship, or the pain of a broken friendship, or maybe health issues. I've been struggling with a lot of autoimmune things in my body, and if it's not one thing, it's another. Your immune system attacking itself. And so it's been a long road of what exactly am I supposed to be learning from this? Because I'm ready to go. I'm ready to be on that side. And I
Uh-huh.
know this is not supposed to be my life, but
Yes.
so daily I have to just make a choice every day that this is my best day. I know I am healed. I know that it is not meant for me to live this quality of life where I'm suffering all the time. And I really truly believe that eventually all of this too will pass. But it takes a lot to get there when your body is constantly telling you different things. So anything you wanted to add to that?
Yes, I mean, pain and stress, you know, the physical, it takes a toll on you physically as well. Um, my work during my time as a massage therapist, licensed massage therapist, I saw it all the time. People are stressed out. It's causing pain in their body.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, just being able to come and get a massage for an hour can help a lot in that regard. You know, just coming to that place of peace there,
Mm-hmm.
having a way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, go get a massage, y'all. Go get a massage. I was thinking about that for the last few days. It's like I think I've gotten a massage like one time at somebody's something where you sit in a chair and you put your face down or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I had always had this thing about people touching on me because I don't get pedicures and all that type of stuff. I
Yeah.
just take care of my own hands and feet because of my past with sexual trauma. But now I'm healed from that. So now I just think that was my mindset then. But I was thinking, I was like, I should go get a massage.
Yeah.
And because our body does, there's a book that says your body keeps count. But yeah, our body does keep count. And even in autoimmune disease, a lot of this stuff has been caused by stress and wrong mindsets for years,
Yeah.
strongholds of them.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm healed, my body has to catch up.
Body has to catch up.
So I
Exactly.
think that using the tool of massaging or acupuncture or even chiropractors, I think all of those things are very important in healing because your body does need a lot of help sometimes because your body is affected by stress. Like you said, stress is like the number one. Stress, opens the door for everything. It does.
Yes,
And I
the
had
power
led
of
a stressful life for
mindfulness.
so many years. Wrong thinking, stressful life, stressful being a single parent, all that, you know, thinking wrong. And one day when I was sitting in quiet in my meditation space, I was like, God, I am healed in my mind. Why is my body acting so crazy? He said,
Mhm.
because your body's vomiting up the symptoms. Your body's trying to catch up to where you are mentally. And
Right.
so I think it's very important, like you said, that getting a massage, you know, because that puts you in tune with your divine self, I believe. So you want to speak more about that?
Yeah, it's mind body, that mind body connection. I mean, I really don't think that you can separate that.
Mm-mm.
You know, the way you feel is going to affect you and your body. Yeah.
Yep,
So
and
it's
we can't get away.
about, yeah, it's about making um those choices to move toward your well-being, to move toward your physical and mental well-being.
Mm-hmm. So, and then we have to remember, yeah, that it is connected, and a lot of times, you know, whether or not you believe we're spirits, that's on you. But regardless, we are being influenced by the spiritual world. We are spiritual. And so these things manifest into physical things. Our thoughts are spiritual.
Right.
Belief is a power. Peace is a power. Joy is a power. These are all powers. And so when we want to move from pain to purpose, we have to realize that our thoughts are going to be the basis for any type of healing. It's going to start in your thoughts, because you have to be connected to that divine, your heart, which I call your divine
Mhm.
self. And a lot of times we can't move on because we don't really know who we are.
Right.
And we struggle with our identity, and we struggle with our belief, and we struggle with our relationship with God, or our relationships with ourselves, you know,
Exactly.
and we forget that the most power you can have, I mean, it's great. We should all love God, but God wants us to love ourselves, and we have to
Yes.
have a peaceful relationship with ourselves. And once we come to that point, you'd be surprised at the world that opens up before you. You see who you are, you see what directions you're supposed to be going in, and it becomes acceptable because it's your birthright. And a lot of times we don't understand our birthright because we've lived these years and years of pain and struggle and you know, suffering, and so that's what our brains are programmed for. So when we have to change and we're stretching ourselves, it becomes like, you know, we feel like we're in labor, like we won't
Mhm.
make it. Like, and so you want to talk more about that?
Yeah. Oh gosh. That moving from a place of pain to purpose with peace as the center, you know, making that intentional decision toward your happiness, I think is really the key. Is really the key
Mm-hmm.
of making that a priority. And when it comes to like the mindset and like how you were talking about the affirmations,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important when it comes to affirmations, it's not just about, you know, you're saying these different things. I think in conjunction with that, a good tool would be to make small goals for yourself. Breaking down small goals.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you're able to achieve those small goals, it's like a stepping stone into the bigger goals. And you've got the affirmations behind that. So now you've got the behavior
Mm-hmm.
that goes along with the mindset. And I think that that can make a really big difference.
Mm-hmm. All of it connected together. They're all tools, and one feeds off the other, and before it's all working together, and then you start to just feel like a different person,
Right.
and you start to feel stronger, and you start to want more for your life than being connected to being a significant other or wife or a mother or whatever. My
Mhm.
identity was so tied up when I was, for years of my life, in my children, in
Uh-huh.
my church identity. I was a praise dancer, you know, being a good church member, being a good person, being a good friend, always there for other people. But the person I was not there for was myself.
Self. Yeah.
And that really, that relationship with yourself, you know, we could really destroy ourselves with our own thinking and not taking ourselves into consideration.
Mm.
So before you, even if you're breaking up from someone, before you jump into something else, I'm not saying you have to stay, you know, by yourself for 3 years, 4 years, But give yourself time to breathe and heal, and ask yourself, why were you attracted to this person? What was it in this person that you saw? Why did the breakup happen? And focus on yourself. Don't be so focused on that person's toxic. Well, if you are with a toxic person, that means that you're toxic to some extent too. So now you have
Would
to
you feel
focus on
that?
what's toxic about you. And we
Right.
all have to face that. I had to face that, of what's toxic about me. And some days it hurt really bad because it was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I was like this. But the grace of God will buffer all of that. It's not going to be, it's better to face yourself, be courageous and face yourself than to try to repress and ignore. Because when you repress and ignore, it stresses your body out, it stresses your thoughts out, and you're carrying it around regardless. So you might as well go ahead and face it.
The sooner you can face it, the sooner you can heal it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Mm-hmm.
that another aspect of that is self-forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one. That's a
Mm-hmm.
hard, it can be hard, but that's a big one. I think it's really key.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and that was a big one that I carried a lot of shame and guilt, and of all things, I was watching Game of Thrones, and because God will speak to me through anything, and it was this scene in there where the queen had to walk through the streets naked because of her sins, and they cut off all her hair, and she had to walk amongst the people she served naked while this nun was ringing a bell saying shame, shame, shame. And that resonated so much with me, and God was showing me that is the way you feel every day when you wake up. Is this? It was this sense of shame and guilt. Even though I knew I was renewed in my mind, I still felt guilty. I still felt shameful. And so I think what you were saying, that shame and guilt, that's something that you really have to understand, and understand that most of us suffer with that at some point in our
Some
lives,
degree.
and understand those are powers too, and they work against you and not for you. So the sooner you let it go, because God wasn't holding me, wasn't saying, wasn't making me ashamed or anything. It
Right.
was my guilt, my actions, and just how I just realized the depravity of mankind, of yourself sometimes, and the way you think versus what you were made to be. When you really see what you're made to be versus the way you've been living,
Uh-huh.
you do feel like, oh my gosh. you
Such a
know.
contrast, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
such a contrast. And
Mm-hmm.
that self-forgiveness, it really starts to free you once you can get to that place. It can really start to free you, and you're able to see yourself in a different way. You're able to look at your situations in a different way with some compassion for yourself, and maybe even for some of the people that may have caused you pain, at least be able to see those issues clearer.
Mm-hmm. And we have another Johanna or Johanna, it looks like down there. Hello. so so Joanna, you want to talk about was there anything, for example, that you navigated through your life with peace to purpose that you can give
Yeah.
us an example of?
Sure. So years ago, when I was going through devastating divorce, and both of my parents had passed away, and these
Oh.
things kind of happened in the span of a few years.
Mm.
And just being in that place of devastation and wondering, what I was going to do with myself, dealing with the emotional pain, and then also dealing with what did I want to create for my life. So that's where I found using peace as a way to cultivate my healing, and went to therapy, got some life coaching, and just every day doing these little things, moving toward my healing, things that were going to make me come to that place of peace. So that just that I could feel, some days it was just, what can I do just to feel better? What can I do just to feel happy in this moment?
Hmm. And
And
that's
having,
okay process too.
yeah,
Just sometimes you just have to do what makes you happy in the moment. And
hmm,
it might not seem like a big deal to you, but you'd be surprised at the moves we make in spiritually just to be happy, just
yeah,
to make that decision, to be at
right,
peace, to utilize peace and happiness and joy. and to believe that we're supposed to live that way. I think a lot of times we get conditioned to believe, especially, well, in my case anyway, if you've been suffering a lot in your life, you
Mm-hmm.
just kind of get used to it, and if good stuff start to happen, you're looking for the shoe to drop
Yeah.
because it's supposed to be that way,
Right.
So.
Right. It's like, do you really believe that you are meant to have this good thing? You know,
Mhm.
and so that could be a self-esteem issue. It could be the
Mhm.
result of trauma.
Mhm.
And that's something that we have to be able to heal from as well, so that you're able
Mhm.
to receive the good things that God has for you.
Mhm. 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 So, guys, you know, um, to move from pain to purpose and peace is utilizing the tools that we've been talking about. It's prayer and meditation, it's affirmations, it's doing the small things every day, like Joanna was
Mhm.
saying. It's using therapy if you need to, it's using coaching if you need to. And a lot of times we need to. So don't talk yourself out of that. Invest in yourself so you know that you care about yourself. It's not even about the money you're spending. It's about telling yourself that you are valuable, you are worth
Mhm.
this. Because a lot of times we will invest in like massages or pedicures or things like that. And that's fine because that does make you feel good. But you really have to make your soul feel good too. It's
Mhm.
not just about making your body feel good. We have to make our mind feel good. We have to recondition our subconscious. We have to sit in quiet so we can let, however, there's some things that happen spiritually that are unexplainable to me, that are the nuances that really transform you into another person. All the tools are great, but one day you're just going to be like, I don't hurt anymore. And you're going to want to help other people so they don't go through your hurt. And that's
Mhm.
when you kind of really know that you are healed and over that. When you can't even associate with that person you were. I can't associate with the person I used to be.
Right.
The way I was for years and years and years. I don't even, that girl is like there, and I can use the pain, and I can use the process to help others to hopefully avoid it, or if they haven't avoided, to show them how to heal from it. And that's how you truly know that that is part of purpose, and that you're totally over that part, that you're healed from that part, is
Right.
when you want to like help people. You can't even identify with the person you were then, and you're just peaceful all the time. I go through stuff now, and peace is like my anchor. Like it's stuff that would stress me out before. It's the same stuff, but it's like I see it totally different. I have peace. I know that God loves me, and I know I love God, and I know that I just don't think the same way. I don't stress out about it. And I know how to take a breath if I'm starting to feel those anxious thoughts, and being peaceful, like you said, utilizing peace as an anchor.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. Um, all all those things that you said, I mean, it's having that foundation
mm-hmm,
when you're going through struggles. You know, it's not that when it comes to peace, it's not that you're denying your struggles. You know,
mm-hmm,
you're not denying the reality of it, but peace is the foundation that you come back to. I almost think of it as peace is like a reset button. You're putting a reset button on your emotions. So those emotions that are really intense, you can come to a place of peace through different practices, and those emotions can become less intense. You start to get more clarity, right? So that
mm-hmm,
you can start to make better decisions for your life. You start to come more into alignment for what your purpose is, because you now have that clarity to see what
mm-hmm.
direction that is. And you get the confidence as you're making these baby steps toward your goals. You get the confidence to execute on your purpose.
Exactly, exactly. So, Joanna, is there anything that any coaching packages or coaching services you're offering in this season?
Sure, yeah. So my next big thing on it is I'm launching a new coaching program. It's going to be coming out in March. It's about healing from heartbreak and using peace as a bridge to finding your purpose, right? So best way to connect with all of my offerings is through my Instagram bio. My handle is at Joanna Elizabeth 777. And for those looking for coaching, I give a complimentary consultation.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the new coaching program coming out in March, you can schedule a consultation and we can talk about what it is that you've got going on in life right now, what changes you want to make, and find out if this program is a fit for you. I think it's going to be really transformative. It's going to be a small group, a virtual group coaching, so that we can have that intimacy and sharing our experiences and give and receive support for one another and have accountability. So
Mm-hmm.
the possibility to be really life-changing.
Mm-hmm. We're doing well, Rado. Thank you for asking. We hope you're doing well as
Hope you're doing well.
So are you coming in on the end of it? You missed a good life, but go back and watch the replay. I'll put it right up. But yes, so we just want to encourage you guys that you're purposeful. Every time you wake up and have breath in your body, you are purposeful. Mm-hmm. And so ultimately, searching for purpose is, I don't know, sometimes I think we waste a lot of time doing that because, as I said, I think we think it's some big thing or some island across the way that we need to get to. Gifts, talents, and purpose, those are all within you, but what you have to believe is that your divine self, your Holy Spirit within you is guiding you to all of those things, and you have to align your mind and your body to what God is telling you on the inside before the outside starts to show or manifest for you. And so we don't want anyone to sit in pain. If you're sitting in pain and you're not sure of how to navigate it and you want to navigate getting out of it, then reach out to Joanna, reach out to me. You can click on our bios. We both offer coaching services. And as I said, Joanna she's a peace and purpose coach, and we all have established that you need peace to heal. You need peace to move forward. You need peace. So if you cannot find the peace, reach out and put some value. You're worth healing. You're worth healing, because this is about you and your relationship with yourself, and it's also about what you have to offer to the world. And if you stay stuck in hurt and pain, then you're just stuck and nobody gets to receive the beauty of you. So we don't want you to get stuck in that. We want you to move on from that, and we want to help you navigate through that. So be brave, be courageous, because you are a hero. God has made you courageous. God has made you brave, even though it might feel scary to move and evolve from pain. You might be comfortable nurturing your pain. You have to move through it. You have to get on with your life, because you have something beautiful to offer the world. And we want you to know that. And we want you to know that we are here for you. So that concludes this episode of Soulful Solution. And I thank Joanna for coming on. And I enjoyed this talk so much. I enjoyed talking about just all these divine things. I just really enjoyed it. It's always, I always grow from each conversation I have, because I surround myself with people who have like-minded mindsets. And that's very important, even in your healing, to surround your people, even if it's on the internet, especially if it's on social media, because it's too much toxicity on social media. So y'all stop. You listen to people like me and Joanna, and people that are good for your soul, for your spirit. Okay, so thank you, Joanna.
Thank you so much, Tina. This is excellent.
Yeah, it was. Thank you. And I will see you next Friday. And thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.